The best exercise for long-term fat loss and fat loss maintenance, it's not running, it's not strength training, it's walking. Let's talk about it. What prompted me to make today's video is that I was having conversations with my clients and I was realizing that I actually hadn't taken the time to explain to them why one of the best things that you could possibly add into your day is simply getting enough steps in. So for starters, why isn't running best for long-term fat loss? And why have we been told that it is? So I believe this is because in terms of what exercise is gonna help you burn the most calories in the stretch of time that you are doing that exercise, it's going to be running every time. But here's the catch. Just because you're burning more calories in that window of time that you're exercising, it doesn't mean that you are creating a calorie deficit in the entirety of your day, okay? Because if you didn't already know, maintaining a calorie deficit over a long stretch of time is how you create fat loss. It's how you lose fat. A couple reasons why running isn't optimal, but I think the primary one being is that a lot of people that dig their claws into running because they just really want fat loss are misguided in that they think that the exercise where they kill themselves the most is the exercise that's gonna get them the quickest fat loss. Does that make sense? But the problem with that is if you're approaching fat loss from that lens of how quickly can I lose it and how much do I have to suffer? How much suffering can I tolerate in order to lose it? You're probably gonna be one of those people that falls into the trap of you can go really hard, but you can't sustain it for a long enough amount of time to actually see a reasonable change in your body. And if you've been here for long enough, you know that that's the school of thought that I fall under is if you don't enjoy the type of movement that you're engaging in, it's most likely not going to be sustainable long term. And in the game of long-term fat loss, sustainability and consistency is what's going to trump intensity every time. It's what's going to win every time. But also there's some research that suggests that high intensity training, cardio, like intense cardio, intense running, can also spike your appetite and your hunger. So maybe you are burning off all these calories, but that might be offsetting your calorie deficit because it's just making you so ravenous. And let's be honest, most people that are struggling with their weight and turning to interventions like cardio, they probably also don't have their eating under control either. Nutrition is always what's gonna move the fat loss needle forward, right? Not exercise. And that goes for strength training as well. The point of strength training isn't to help you lose fat. The point of strength training is to stimulate your muscles well enough that you trigger them to grow. You trigger them to adapt and grow. And when you grow your muscles and you develop your muscles, that's what creates the shape that we're after. When you lose the fat sitting on top of your muscle, that's what creates that toned look. So the point of strength training isn't to burn the most calories or lose the most fat. The point of strength training is to build the shape that you want. Believe me, I've tried losing weight without building muscle and it just left me with that skinny fat build where I still was unsatisfied. I was the skinniest I'd ever been, but I was also the most miserable because I was running and I wasn't enjoying what I was doing and I was under eating and I didn't have any muscle to give me that model-esque beautiful shape. Big glutes, a snatched waist, nice cap delts, you know what I mean? Another thing that I think really drove this idea home for me that running is not gonna be what helps me lose weight, it's gonna be walking, was when I discovered what the TDEE graph is. Basically, these really smart people were like, we wanna figure out how our bodies burn energy in a day. How do our bodies consume calories? And we discovered that over half of the calories that our bodies burn in a day, we are burning just by being vegetables. So literally, if you're just lying down on a bed, being a vegetable, you're already burning 60% of the calories that we burn in a day. And you might be thinking to yourself, okay, no big deal, but the second biggest amount of calories you burn in a day is probably from exercise, right? Wrong. It's from non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Do you know what non-exercise activity thermogenesis is? It's all of the movement that we engage in outside of being a vegetable. So me talking and flailing my hands right now, I'm burning calories. Brushing my hair, I'm burning calories. Walking, I'm burning a lot of calories. So you would think that you burn the most calories from exercise. No, dude, you burn the most calories from just being an active person, someone who isn't sedentary. And let's be honest, most people who are struggling with their weight maintenance are extremely sedentary. I've seen it time and time again. They're getting less than 2,000 steps in per day. That's probably one of the lowest hanging fruit that you can do, is simply starting to go from 2,000 steps a day to 6,000 steps per day. And what I love about walking is it's enjoyable. You can listen to a podcast when you do it. You can walk with a friend. You can walk with your dog. It's super accessible. You don't have to worry about, you don't have to try and work through gym anxiety. You don't have to try and work through the difficult part of learning how to exercise. You know what I mean? Like learning how to do the movements correctly. Although I do hope that you end up doing that eventually. I just love how walking, it's just like so, anyone can do it, basically. Any able-bodied person can go for a walk and it's completely free. So yeah, a lot of my clients have like not been taking walking as seriously as I feel like they should. Or they'll fall into the camp of like, well, what does it matter if I'm not strength training? No, like at a bare minimum, if I can't make it to the gym, I can at least get my steps in. I can walk my dog. You can park further away from the grocery store and get more steps in. You can take the stairs and get more steps in. You can get a walking pad. One of my clients finally made the investment into a walking pad. A big barrier for her was that she was like, I'm not able to invest in something this expensive right now. And then she saw a TikTok of this girl being like, girl, just get it on Facebook Marketplace. And then the next day she like found one on Facebook Marketplace for like $50 and she picked it up. And now she has a walking pad that she can use, especially if you are someone who works remote or works from home. Not only that, but walking has some serious health benefits as well. For one, it can help you regulate your circadian rhythm, especially if you're walking outside. How so? Because the sun in the morning emits blue light, which is the light on our phones that spikes our cortisol and helps us wake up and be alert for the day, which is awesome. It's good cortisol and not the bad kind of cortisol, okay? And then at night, the sun emits red light, and red light is what triggers the release of melatonin in our bodies, which helps us wind down and get ready for bed. So walking in the morning and at night can also help you with your sleep if you're somebody who's struggling with your sleep. It can also help you with your digestion. Studies show that going for like 15-minute walks after your meal times can really help with digestion. And when you digest your food better, you feel better, you look better. And when you digest your food better, you absorb the nutrients into our bodies better, so we're more energized. We're repairing muscle more optimally. A healthy body is a better looking body. And then of course, nature washing has been shown to have some serious mental health benefits, like decreasing depression and anxiety. Okay, so like there's just so many things going for walking that can not only improve the quality of our life, but it really is the most simple, lowest hanging fruit that we can bite to help us move us closer to not only fat loss, but fat loss maintenance. I think that's the most important part. So in conclusion, am I anti-cardio? No, I am not anti-cardio. Cardio is just simply not the string that I would pull when I'm trying to help my clients lose fat. In fact, pretty much all of my lifestyle clients, I don't have to make them do cardio in order to lose weight. All I have to do is create a calorie deficit through their nutrition and by increasing their steps. And then the deeper you get into a fat loss phase, you just keep bringing food down and bringing steps up. Whereas like if you're a professional bodybuilder, if you're an athlete, cardio is gonna be a tool that's gonna be important for creating a deeper calorie deficit, because you're trying to get your body into levels of leanness that your body just shouldn't be in. You know what I mean? So there are definitely uses for cardio. There are definitely applications for cardio, but we're talking here about regular ma and pa, like regular Joe Schmo, you know? You don't have to suffer in order to lose fat. You can just go for walks, just get your steps up. So like I said a little bit earlier, my general recommendations, if you're somebody who currently is getting 2,000 steps or below, just start trying to get 6,000 to 8,000 steps, right? And then you can start incorporating the gym. And then when you decide to go into a dedicated fat loss phase, all you have to do is slightly increase your steps to help get the needle moving in the right direction. I hope you guys liked this video. I hoped it was helpful. I feel like it was very overdue because come on, it's so simple and everyone can do it. Okay, bye.